I'm Catherine Graves from a Hypnobirthing Centre, and I'm talking today to Rachel, who is a hypnobirthing mother. Her first baby was born in hospital, her second she did a hypnobirthing course, and her third we did a top-up one evening just to put her back on track. You're getting tired, aren't you? Lila is teething. She is teething. Yeah, she was 42 weeks in the end, but they told me terrible things. A midwife actually told me that, not a midwife, sorry, a night, one of the night staff told me that I might be putting my baby at risk, and the baby's died that way, didn't I know, and awful things like that. So the pressure was quite immense, but obviously I was having her monitored, and I knew that I was being safe for her, so it was unnecessary as far as I was concerned. Anyway, she finally came of her own accord, and it was a very fast first part of the labour, but she was spine to spine, and I was under a lot of, I felt under a lot of pressure to have an epidural, which I didn't want, have pethidine, which I didn't want. I felt the whole thing was sort of battling. I wanted a water birth, there was no pool available, and so it wasn't sort of going the way I'd wanted, and she got stuck, and so I had 5 hours of pushing, and they didn't want me to have 5 hours of pushing because it's against protocol, so they were trying to get me to sign for a C-section, and eventually I managed to persuade them, literally at sort of the 11th hour, when I was in the operating room for a C-section, I managed to persuade them to give her a try with ventouse, and she came out, and lovely healthy baby, but it was quite a traumatic experience, I think probably for both of us, yeah, it's not something I wanted to repeat.
So did your husband think was the difference between that birth and the hypnobirthing babies?
He thought they were worlds apart. I mean, for a start, from his perspective, he felt that he was, whilst from my point of view, he was instrumental in the first birth, being there to support me and help to answer all of the questions and help to fight the battles with me.
Shouldn't be like that.
No, it shouldn't, but it was exactly like that. But he felt like he was a spare part. I mean, there were probably 14 people in the room when she finally came out because they were waiting for the C-section, whereas for Lila and for Molly, her elder sister, he actually delivered them. He was the first hands-on for both of them. And they were sort of questioning that, so it was difficult.
And what about your next baby?
Totally different.
Your hypnobirthing baby?
Yeah, well, I decided I definitely didn't want to go anywhere near a hospital after my first experience, and we're very lucky we've got a friend who's an independent midwife, so we booked her for a home birth, and booked you as well. And it was just such an incredible difference. I mean, to start with, all the preparation was so relaxing through the sort of final stages of pregnancy.
When you say the preparation?
Well, we did a lot of, every evening we listened to the tapes, and we did, read the affirmations, and it was a really nice thing for us to do together. Yeah, the hypnobirthing preparation. It was just such a relaxing, lovely thing to do together, because I think second time, and certainly third time, you can almost ignore the fact that you're about to have a baby, because life's so busy. But it gives you that chance to focus on it in a really positive way, so it was so relaxing. And then when she started coming, I just didn't feel, for a start she was early, because I'd been concentrating on her being early because I was worried about being late, like I was the first time, and there was a complete shock. She was 2 weeks early, and I was able to ignore pretty much the first sort of 12 hours of contractions and sort of carry on.
Was that proper labour, or would you call it pre-labour?
Warming up. But it wasn't until I put Maddie to bed, my eldest to bed, that I thought, okay, now I can do it.
It's amazing how often you hear
that. It totally worked like that.
Until the older one's put to bed.
And it was immediately when she went to bed, it started really. Then I thought, okay, I am in labour now, because I think I'd been denying it all day, even though I'd had all the signs. And it was very fast. I was able to, she was spine to spine again, so it wasn't technically an easy labour, but I was able to manage it, and it was just very, very calm. I mean, my husband's sort of take on it was that it was literally a world apart. How I was a world apart from how I was the first time round. Apparently I didn't make any noise. I kind of felt that I did, but apparently I didn't. It wasn't important to me not to, but I just didn't. And it was, when the midwife arrived, it didn't change me at all. I didn't feel any sort of emotional reaction to her being there. I wasn't relieved, and it didn't change me. I just carried on.
That's a perfect midwife,
yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely, absolutely. And she came, I got into the pool, she came within 5 minutes of me being in the pool. The midwife didn't even know that I was pushing, so she was a little bit surprised. And the midwife only came 40 minutes before she came out, because it happened very fast. But it wasn't a panic, it wasn't, it was just absolutely fine. And my husband was the first hands-on, delivered her, which was wonderful.
Yes.
And it was just a world apart. And then we were at home relaxing afterwards, which was
that wonderful.
Yeah.
Just being in your own bed,
having a bath, having a cup of tea. Yeah, it was really, really so different. And then third time again, it was.
We just did a little booster for the third time, didn't we? I mean, a
Yes.
booster Hypnobirthing.
Yeah.
I just came round one evening and
Yeah.
we did a few hours just to top up and
Yeah.
put you back on course.
Which was great. Yeah, it sort of helped to refocus us. And she was a bigger baby and also spine to spine.
It's obviously the way your body's made, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, exactly. There's a reason for it. And again, she came very quickly. I had a more difficult pushing stage with her, and I'm sure, had I been in hospital, I'm sure she would have got stuck fast again. And the midwife said that she could feel afterwards, in retrospect, she said that she thinks she was stuck, but then because I was so relaxed, she was actually able to turn, and she actually turned, when her head was out, she turned and came out, but it all happened within 2 minutes, very, very, very fast.
So how big was she?
She wasn't huge, she was 8'7",
Yes.
but my others were sort of 7'7", so yeah. But it was amazing having something to focus on. And I think that's what I felt the first time. I felt that I was flailing. I'd done some yoga breathing and I was trying to cling to that, but every time I was asked questions and I'd lose my rhythm, and I felt like I was flailing, and that's when the pain really kicks in. Whereas subsequently I was just able to focus on something that could give me confidence.
So in the first one, did you have an epidural?
No, I didn't. No, I refused an epidural. Yeah.
So you had nothing, gas and air, nothing?
I had gas and air.
Yes.
Yeah, I had gas and air.
And the other two?
I tried gas and air when I got into the pool with Molly, my second, and actually it completely threw me off. and I thought, no, I ditched it almost as soon as I tried it. And I think I had 30 seconds of gas and air with Lila when I got into the pool. But again, it wasn't really doing anything but making me a bit spaced out. So, yeah.
So you sometimes wonder if gas and air is for the husbands, don't you?
Yes.
So you look at that side, and then you might go that way, mightn't you? And what about the girls after they were born? You were talking about a difference earlier on.
Yeah, well, Lila is just like this all the time. Just a very, very, very calm, contented baby. Unbelievably so, remarkably so. People comment on it all the time. I mean, we just don't hear her cry. She might cry for sort of 2 minutes in a day, which isn't much. And yeah, she's just I sort of touch wood when I say it, an easy baby, really, really easy baby.
It's amazing how often people say that about hypnobirthing babies. That they don't have anything to recover from, so they can develop straight away, and therefore they develop faster.
And she sort of cruised through her first sort of 4 weeks. She just, I mean, my midwife said she's kind of doing it perfectly. She just kind of lay low and slept a lot, and just sort of woke up and was content, and just really, really sort of cruised through, sort of doing the 4th trimester kind of thing. And yeah, just.
What about the subject that every mother wants to know about, sleeping through the night?
She had it. She did. She actually got there very, very, very fast. But for some reason, we're not there anymore. But she
Maybe
sleeps.
she's beginning to teeth because she's driven a lot,
she is.
isn't
But she sleeps very, very well.
Yeah.
Very well. And she's no bother with sleep. I mean, she just puts herself to sleep and is
Eating
an angel,
caterpillars.
basically.
And how does this compare with the other two?
Well, my second, I had a lot of medical difficulties after 10 days. So I think for the first 10 days, we had a very, very calm baby, very thriving baby. And then things were taken over with medical problems.
Pretty desperate, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very, very desperate. So, which actually made it, for us, it made it even more important that we'd had the experience that we had bringing her into the world, and that was so calm and non-medical, because it then became so very medical that it was...
It actually puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
It does.
It makes you see when medical intervention is needed and when
exactly
it isn't.
that. It did
because
exactly.
she had the perfect birth, no intervention,
Yeah.
calm, natural, just how you'd like it to be for every baby.
Yeah.
And when it was really, really needed and she was really ill,
Yeah.
they saved her life.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
But it had an effect because it was a lot of trauma for a very little person.
Yeah, but she has still her neutral being is a very calm, much more laid back character than my first child, who was fabulous. But it's always been quite a strong character, and was a nightmare with sleep, and still is.
You don't realise till you've had a baby the difference that it can make, and the birth can make.
Yeah, no, definitely not. No, I mean, she couldn't be more chilled out if she tried.
Can I pick her up?
Yes, of course you can. There we are. You can look at the camera.
There we are. No smiles.
You're going to smile?
No.
Yes, you will. Give us a smile. Give us a smile.
It was nearly a smile. Well, no smile.
We need a sister here, don't we? That would make you smile.
There we are. I don't think there's anything else to say, really. Thank you so much, Rachel.
You're welcome. Who is twice a hypnobirthing mother, but the first baby wasn't.